Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mind Prosperity. And today we're going to speak about handling conflict. Now, in our success, in our business, in our lives, relationships are a very, very important part. Whether we are successful in life, enjoying in life, happy in life, relationships are very, very important. And if we don't know how to handle conflict, because any close relationship at the end of the day will have conflict. And today we're going to speak about conflict resolution, what it is, what are the barriers, and how to handle it. Now, conflict is generally defined as a state of disagreement, opposition, or incompatibility between individuals, groups, or ideas, often arising from differences in ideas, values, goals, or perceptions. And we have to understand today that handling conflict correctly builds relationships. I'm going to say that again. Handling conflict correctly builds relationships. Therefore, handling conflict incorrectly breaks or destroys relationships. People struggle with conflict because of, number one is basically people pleasing. I'm so afraid that you're not going to be pleased that I would rather keep quiet. I'm so afraid that you're not going to be okay with me, that you're not going to approve of me, that I would rather keep quiet. Now, also at the other side, you get people who don't keep quiet. They say what they want to say, but they say it in a harsh way. They say it in an ugly way. They say it in a demeaning way. And that's also not a place. And that's also not a way to handle conflict. So the people pleaser will say, I'm rather not going to say anything. I'm rather not going to do anything because maybe this person is not going to be pleased with me. Then at the other side, people will be like, I don't care what you think about me. I'm just going to tell you how bad you are. I'm going to attack you and I'm going to break you down and I'm going to make you feel bad about yourself. But neither one of the two are good ways to handle conflict. So the way to handle conflict will be, to speak up, to say what you want to say, and whatever that person does with it is basically their problem, but not in like a weird way. Just in a way to say, okay, I've said what I wanted to say. You need to handle this. Another reason why people struggle with conflict is they have this fear of rejection. What if I do say what I think about the situation? What if there is conflict and there's rejection? So I'm going to give you guys a few points on what we need to know about handling conflict and the importance of it. Before we get there, I'm going to ask you to like, to subscribe to this video. We put in a lot of short videos like this on a weekly basis to give you guys good information. They're not going to be long, but it is good content that we can give you guys on a weekly basis. So what do we need to know? People will never know what you need until you tell them. So in order to build relationships, needs have to be met, whether it's a business relationship, a corporate relationship in a company, a friendship relationship, in a romantic relationship. Both of the people in the relationship will have needs because we need one another. And that is why we are in relationship with people, because we need one another. People will never know what you need unless you tell them. And again, when people pleasing comes in, when fear of rejection comes in, you can easily be in situations where you feel like your needs are met or other people's needs are not met because you don't tell them what they need. And this is where we are afraid to be in conflict with people. People will never know how you feel unless you tell them. So a lot of times things happen, you say things, situations come, people might feel either good or bad about it. People are never going to know how you feel unless you tell them. So conflict resolution has a lot to do by speaking your truth, but in a peaceful way. And two mature people will be at a place where they can protect that peace. This is very important. And people will never know what bothers you until you tell them. This is why silent treatment is such a toxic thing. Silent treatment is toxic because you're kind of like punishing that person emotionally, and they don't know why. They don't know what they have done wrong. And this is why it's such a wrong way to handle conflict. It's not even a way to handle conflict. You will never be able to handle conflict while you are giving people silent treatment. So people will never know what bothers you until you tell them. And also people have their own perception. So the same thing, people can see the same thing. People can hear the same thing and they perceive it differently. And because they perceive it differently, it can cause some conflict. So what is the best way to handle conflict, or what are the best ways to handle conflict? Number one, speak about how you feel, but do it in a respectful way. When somebody else speaks about how they feel, don't take it as offensive and don't see it as rejection. If you feel offended, if you feel rejected, ask yourself the question, is that maybe something that triggered me? Because a lot of time it's because of their own emotional hurt, it's because of their own trauma that they are triggered, then they're taking it out on the other person, and the conflict is much bigger than what it should be. Speak your truth in a healthy way, and receive truth in a healthy way. And then at the end of the day, just remember, two people don't have to agree on everything to have a healthier relationship and to have a good relationship. Yes, for people to be close, they have to agree on big things like vision, goals, where they're going in life, what they want in life, what they believe in life. But there will be a lot of little things in between where people might not agree on. And that is okay. That doesn't mean people cannot be in relationship. And one final thing that I want to say, you can only have a healthy relationship with somebody who can handle conflict well, or who can handle conflict in a healthy way. You cannot be in a relationship with anybody, whether it's business, friendship, romantic. You cannot have a healthy relationship with anybody if they cannot handle conflict well, if they cannot speak their truth, if they're still in people pleasing, if they still feel easily rejected, easily offended. And even if a person is easily offended, the fact that you can open up to people and say, listen, that offended me, this is how I feel about this, and people can respond in a respectful way, that's very important for conflict resolution. And then the most important thing I can say today when it comes to conflict resolution is heal your inner wounds. It's because of inner wounds, inner hurts, and inner pains that people struggle to resolve conflict in a healthy way. So make sure you heal every single day of your life, and this will help you more than anything. Thank you so much. See you guys soon again.